Sup everyone, this is Draco Evolve back yet again with some latest Manchester United transfer news. Now, whatever you want to call it, it is all speculations. However, we got a few interesting topics to discuss in today's video. And first and foremost, for the live streams I've been doing in Football Manager this week, it has been phenomenal. It was fun. So thank you so much for everyone that's joined in from YouTube, obviously. And we got a few things to discuss today. As always, you guys can see any sort of timestamps coming at the bottom, so feel free to jump across and see what subject interests you most. As always, I try to bring you the latest transfer news as late as possible in today, because the newspapers are out early in first thing in the morning. So we do get updates on newspaper reports coming in later on the day. For the next day's, you can say, news. But jumping on, it is the thumbnail news. It is, as always, going to be the thumbnail news as in the beginning, so I don't want to keep you guys waiting, because that's the reason why you probably clicked on this video. But Manchester United have apparently, this is according to the Manchester Evening News, who are quite reliable at times, you can say, they identify someone named Rabbi Matondo as a backup transfer target for Jadon Sancho. So I'm going to read you out the article. Manchester United are monitoring Schalke winger Rabbi Matondo as a possible backup target for Jadon Sancho. The men understands United have been scouting former Manchester City forward Matondo, 19, and view him as a more cost-efficient option in the next transfer window if Dortmund outprice them for Sancho. After United failed to make a breakthrough in the pursuit of Sancho last year, they turned their attention to Daniel James, who joined for £50 million from Swansea. Sources say United regard Matondo in the same low-risk buy bracket as his Wales teammate James. Before I get into that, I'm going to read you out what Ryan Giggs have also come out and said. So where is the quote? It won't be easy to land. So there we go. Wales boss Giggs knows the 19-year-old very, very well, as he has given him 3 caps at the national team and considers him to be a promising young talent. The United legend appears to rate him as highly as Daniel James, for whom he gave glowing scouting reports to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before he moved to Old Trafford. Giggs was surprised when Matondo left Manchester City's academy for Schalke in 2019, but believes his potential and isn't ruling out the possibility of him reaching the same heights as Jadon Sancho. The winger admires his electrifying pace that can hurt many teams he's put out against on the pitch. This is what Ryan Giggs had to say. I was slightly surprised when he went, but he's a talent. If he's half as successful as Sancho has been so far, I'll be happy. He was really good with us in Albania. I thought he did very well when he came on. Just like Dan James, he has electrifying pace, and that always keeps you interested. Obviously, after that you have to develop. If a fullback works you out, you have to have that plan B. But both are talented players who could hurt teams. So in both of the articles, obviously Rabbi Matondo has come up suddenly the blue as a backup to an option of if Jadon Sancho fails to sign for United, and obviously if he gets priced out of signing from Manchester United. Now, Ryan Giggs has given glowing reports about Dan James before Manchester United signed him up, and United do appear to be interested in Rabbi Matondo because he's a low-risk signing, just like Dan James. He's not going to cost you too much, and he's not going to certainly be under the spotlight compared to, say, Jadon Sancho. I think he's a low-risk signing, obviously, and Ryan Giggs has given his verdict on him in regards to Rabbi Matondo. He was part of the Man City's youth setup, but unfortunately he has moved over to Schalke. And I'm going to go through the stats. So in the stats of Rabbi Matondo, you can see he can play across several different positions, but right wing and left wing is the most important thing. He's 19 years of age, he's a right winger, and he's Welsh. He's played so far 14 times in all competitions, scoring 1 goal. Now, obviously, he hasn't played too many of games. I reckon with Schalke, he's coming on towards the end. They're utilising how we should be utilising Daniel James. Bring him on towards the end, and he's got the pace, as Ryan Giggs have said, and he can certainly run down defenders. My concern is that is he too much of a similar player to Daniel James, someone who already we have in the club? I mean, Dan James has an electrifying pace, he has work rate, and it does seem like Matondo is in a similar mold from what I've been reading, from what Ryan Giggs has come out and said as well. But with we just need someone different, I think. I think someone, yes, with pace, but maybe not electrifying pace, but someone with who can unlock defenses on the right wing, who can drive through the right wing and cut inside, much like how Rashford does for us on the left side. I think that's very important in the modern winger scenario, you can say. More like an inside forward, much like how I use in my Football Manager formations. So that's my only concern in terms of Rabbi Matondo. I think he's too much of a similar player to someone who we have already, and it's like signing a central midfielder. It's like signing Saul, and and keeping him on while still having Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. Fantastic option to have, but he's too much of a similar player than what we already have. Instead, we in a central midfield position, we do need someone like a CDM, someone who's quality in terms of tackle ball winning midfielder, right? And that's what someone like Rabbi Matondo strikes me as. I don't think, if the rumors are true, I think it's a low risk signing, yes, but he's too similar to Dan James. So you're basically going to be taking off Dan James for another Dan James. You need to have different options coming off the bench, yet offer some quality. How much quality this young kid has, again, I have no idea. I literally have not even heard of him apart from the last couple of days where he's popped up in newspapers and whatnot. But let me know, guys, what type of player is he? Is he going to be happy? Are you guys going to be happy if we end up signing him as opposed to someone like Jadon Sancho? Obviously, Jadon Sancho is a world-class player. Not signing him will be a disappointment, but I think if the prices are rumored to be correct and if we are outpriced by Dortmund for Jadon Sancho, then yes, we have to start looking at alternative. And I'll speak about an alternative later on in this particular video. But as you guys know, I always read out some comments from my previous video, so do get involved in this video to have a comment read out in the next comment. But name, surname, that's his YouTube name, I guess. It's in regards to the Sal video I did a couple of days back. He says that is not true. It has already been stated that Sancho, Bellingham and Grealish will come, but no one else. Now, if those three come, I think I'll be very happy with the transfer. I think Sancho alone would be great. Thank you so much for the comment, by the way. Thank you so much for getting involved in the comment section. I think when he says that is not true, he is regarding it towards my video on Sal. Now, obviously, these are just reports. I've always stated that these are all reports, and you shouldn't take it too seriously unless it's coming up from a reliable source or the player or the club itself confirms it. Sal will be amazing. I think he'll be a good signing compared to Grealish. That's what Name Surname has said as well. I also think that signing, when he stated that Sancho, Bellingham and Grealish will come, Name Surname does kind of feel comfortable that they will come, and I do like his enthusiasm in that, but I don't believe we'll sign all three of these mentioned players, certainly not without selling a couple of our maybe bigger signings such as Pogba. Pogba can easily fund Bellingham and Grealish alone, and Sancho could come from our transfer budget. But thank you so much for the comment. Moving on quickly, it's around Jack Grealish from the Metro. So that's what his teammate has come out and said. He heaped praise on him. Conor Hourihane, that's his teammate. So he has this to say to Sky Sports. Jack's obviously a huge talent. He's our talisman and he's had a fantastic season. He's been linked with so many clubs, lots of teams around Europe. It's going to be a tough summer and a tough decision for Jack. Hopefully, first and foremost, he keeps us up. That is the most important thing for the football club. And then whatever Jack decides to do, that's up to him. He deserves everything he gets. For me, he should be in England's squad as well, as because he has something that nobody else does, in my opinion. So there you go. That's what his teammate has come out and said in regards to Jack Grealish. I mean, he's heaped praise on Jack Grealish. And obviously, we know how much of a talent Jack Grealish is. However, the most important thing for Aston Villa right now is Jack Grealish helping them stay up the Premier League if the season does resume, because they are in a bit of a relegation fight. However, being a bit selfish that I'm definitely going to mention the fact that maybe if Villa go down, it'll be easier to sign someone like Jack Grealish. I wouldn't mind signing Jack Grealish as another number in the midfield. You know, we got a lot of games potentially can come up in the season. It's always nice to have quality across every position and a backup to every position. And certainly Jack Grealish can play a lot of games. I'll be disappointed, to be frank, if we end up sending someone like Paul Pogba, and then replacing with Jack Grealish. I think Pogba's talent and his know-how and he's able to deal with a number of games in the highest level is so much better than what Jack Grealish has to offer. But that's what his teammates said around Jack Grealish. Again, I wouldn't mind having him as a luxury signing, but not in the expense of one of our star midfielders. And Pogba is still a star midfielder. I mean, this guy can walk in, despite what he's done, he can walk into any club in the world right now. Okay, so the big bit of news coming out from Team Talk is Federico Chiesa. Federico Chiesa. So this is what Joe Barron, which is the Fiorentina CEO, has confirmed, that he has been targeted by a number of clubs, including some that speak English, obviously referring to Chelsea and Manchester United, who has been linked to us. So let me tell you what he has to say. Chiesa is a Fiorentina player. There are clubs knocking at the door for Chiesa, some of them who speak English. We'll see. For the moment, we just need to finish the season, and he is very concentrated on doing a job for us. So he has come out and confirmed, and I did mention a few sort of transfer videos ago that Chiesa is one of the targets potentially. Hey, look, let me tell you guys something. We are looking for a right winger, and every single media outlet in the world will be putting us in terms of players who can play in the right wing, right? I'm a fan of Federico Chiesa. I think he's a workhorse. He's young. He's talented. He's a right winger as well. I mean, I will definitely take him if Jadon Sancho becomes obsolete, in my opinion. And it'll be great to see maybe someone like Federico Chiesa, someone who we haven't heard of as much compared to, say, Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho seems like a tougher signing to make. Great signing nonetheless, but Federico Chiesa is not far off Jadon Sancho's level. Probably a bit more than Jadon Sancho's level, you never know. But he did come out and say that speaking someone, included some that speak English, which is clearly referring to clubs from England. And guess who's been linked with Federico Chiesa over the last week or so at least? Yes, it is Chelsea and Manchester United. So clearly something's happening in the background. Clubs are inquiring about these type of players. Federico Chiesa is a right winger, and we do need someone who can play the right wing position, because Dan James he just can't do it on his own. But that's the latest on Federico Chiesa, and these are direct quotes as always, guys. Yes, I bring you a lot of speculation, but also if there's any direct quotes from the club itself, I will definitely pull that out as well. Next up is Angel Gomez. So apparently, obviously, his contract expires in June. And his Manchester Evening News are reporting that Angel Gomez is refusing to sign a new contract. So it does look like he might be leaving the club. Again, I'm not going to read you out the article. I've covered Angel Gomez over the last couple of videos. But what a talent I think he is. I think it's going to be a shame that letting him go, especially on a free. Could he come back and haunt us later on? I'd have no idea. I think he is more than capable of haunting us, especially if he goes to a developing club who can develop, such as a Barca or Arsenal. They have a track record of developing youngsters, and it'll be a real shame. But I think, having discussed in a few videos, I think if he doesn't want to sign a contract, he doesn't want to sign a contract. There's no point keeping a player who's unhappy at the club. The main reason is of him not signing a contract is assurances of him not being able to play first team football as much. Look, he's had his chance. He's had games in the Europa Cup as well, and he didn't take it. Someone like Tai Chong who took it and signed a contract, and these are the players that came through the same rank. He went through the training ground, but I think apparently struggled over the summer. So yeah, I have no idea, man. I mean, it wouldn't be a disaster to lose him, but it'll be a disaster looking back in a few years' time. If he's turned out to be a world beater like a Paul Pogba, then yes, you can come out and laugh at us again. But these are all the latest Manchester United transfer news today. Now, whatever you want to call it, I'll try to bring you things earlier compared to what everyone gets in the following day from all the news reports. But since I got time right now, why not just do it? And that will be a recurrence of happening every day. except for 2 days, which I'm taking a break, which was yesterday, was definitely, but just to kind of space it out. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoy your evening. I hope you have a great rest of Thursday and Friday whenever you see the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next upload, and stay farafari.